So,
Mr. Leong, it seems your Wi-Fi is a little bit weak there lah. You can off the video, Mr. Leong,
okay,
quite weak,
all right.
I see, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, class, let's take a look, So, this is the last lesson, and we stop here. I think we are in the middle of the psychic, lah. Okay, so we got the six natural power. Okay, so the different psychics, meaning to say, number one is the divine eye. Okay, I'm able to see no matter how far is it, and no matter how small is it. I think in divine eye nowadays, you are able to see the atom, molecule, you're able to see that. And no matter how far it's from our solar system, you're able to see it. Then divine ear, so divine ear is the same, one is a see, uh, uh, one organ is involved, the organ like an eye, the other organ is involved in like a ear, so you can hear the suffering from the hell, and you also can hear the music from the deva also, you can hear, no matter how far is it. Okay, the third one is the ability to read people's minds. Okay, class, for this three of the psychic, it has something to do with the kasina. Do you remember kasina class? Do you
Yes.
remember? A klasina is we put you, a mandala, maybe with a color. So you try to, visualize the color of the mandala. You try to expand it. Class are basically, according to Visuddhimagga, the kasina, if you want to develop psychic, it's good. You begin with the kasina. The reason is the farther because what does it mean? The kasina means what? Means totality. Okay, you have to expand the kasina inch by inch, slowly. Finally, the kasina have to go very far. So how far the kasina you go, meaning to say how far your divine eye can see and divine ear can hear, and how far you can read people's mind. Sounds good or sounds bad lah? I think quite terrible also, you can see so many things, can hear so many things, if everybody is gossip you, Sally, if you use your device here, wow, the whole world is gossip over me. I think better you don't know, don't have the psychic.
It's better I don't hear.
Yeah, better you don't hear, better you don't know, Okay, so
uh,
yeah, so that's why in certain meditation center, they will ask you once you develop your jhana, you can choose either develop the psyche or vipassana. So vipassana is the best. The reason is vipassana is a skills. Whatever you hear and see, you can use vipassana to break them or become the small pieces. Okay, you see. So meaning to say that you don't have the conception of a whole. That one once you are why are we influenced by what we hear and what we see? The reason is uh, the people who can see behind is the eternal self. If there's a self view, those the one who can see, and also who can hear, and what is being heard and what is being saw, what is being seen, all this type of stuff. Also, we got a concept there. They are solid, you see. So that's why we will have a defilement. If let's say you practice vipassana, whatever you see, you break them to the pieces break them to the atom and molecule. Whatever you see, you break to atom molecule, and you break yourself, become a atom and molecule. Then there no more cell and no more. No more the things you see. So that's why if you have a right to choose so please choose vipassana instead of psychic first. Then Sally, once you got the psychic, you shift to the no, you got the vipassana, you shift to the psychic. The all sound come in, you can just break him all to the atom molecule. Then you won't feel much thing already. You wouldn't take it serious already. See not Sally, so that is how we make a choice in between psychic and vipassana if you can choose lah. Because not because if let's say it's not easy to attain to the jhana. If you are able to attain to the jhana, there must be a teacher who can guide you to this. This is very profound thing to see, but still possible lah. So here I have a great hope to Sally and Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong. Sally, the year end, Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, It will go to part hour for the meditation. So I asked Elena go to, and I hope you can go also lah, Sally please go okay so just go to enhance your meditation and know how to go in get the fine mastery of the jhana. This is most important. Got the jhana already. If possible, by planning, try to finish the vipassana. Try to learn the skills. Okay. Okay. So this is regards to the psychic, and furthermore, we got three more other psychic. One more psychic is the knowledge. You see here, the more specific knowledge of the mind of other to read people mind. Knowledge about the previous existence. Previous existence meaning to say you know what the people past life, incalculable past life. Okay. So for this, why we have to know incalculable past life? If let's say you aim to become a bodhisattva, by knowing people previous past life, you can choose the best people and best method for him. So that is the advantage. According to Nikaya, Buddha, after Binabat, and after taking the breakfast, he used to meditate and go to the psychic and check who will be appeared in his nimitta, and he know who is the one is going to preach the Dharma. And it was once happened that in certain people, even though Buddha he himself are unable to preach them, to help them, but he checked there's affinity with the Shariputra. So he ordered Shariputra to go to talk, to preach to that particular guy. See how good is it, right? Okay. How come we don't met Buddha? Or how come if we met Buddha, we are still here? Meaning to say, either we don't met Buddha or we are too lazy so that we're still here. Because we have so strong capability. I think the rate, the possibility to become Arahant is very high. If you stay together with the Buddha together, am I right? Oh, so strong the power, you see. But unfortunately, we're still here. Okay, then this is the one. We got one more psychic. We call it of what all right, the magical transformation. So class, basically, if let's say if you negate the rest of the psychic, what is remaining is you can just you can transform to whatever you want. Then you can just penetrate the earth, or then you can walking on the water, all this type of stuff, so which is other than the other five psyche, we all put in this we call it as 就是神助通 it's a magical transformation see or not? We all put in the magical transformation now, including you can fly, you can penetrate the mountain. So according to Visuddhimagga, it mentions it's good. One psyche is not enough. You see, class, are you ever wonder that? Are you ever wondering that how come you never see people flying on the sky, or maybe they're just landing, and you witness some people with a psychic landing, but possible in Malaysia we don't see this type of people. But even though in Myanmar, some people, quite a number of people attain psychic, but you never notice this. The reason is they don't possess only one psychic. Usually have 2 to 3 psychic all combined together. If let's say they want to fly up and trick, so in the very beginning you have to use a divine eye to check first who is very in front there, whether there's a demon will come out the rock and block you or not, challenge you or not. And when you do the landing, is there somebody see you or not? So you have to check all this. But of course, they won't go so slowly one by one. Their psyche is very strong. They just use everything, process everything they know already. Oh, so this place I can go. Immediately they fly there, just jump there. Very easy. Maybe one thought can finish all the job. So basically, one psyche is not enough. For this, you must have a psyche of multiple transformation. Okay, to fly. Second must be divine eye to see whether anything in front of you or not, and then make sure you can landing safely. You see, no people see you the landing to do the landing, and what else? So this at least 2 psychic must be involved together. Oh, okay. If let's say the psychic, you are able to see the demon, right? They're going to fight to you, so you must be able, to in a short time you can use the fire and water to fight over with him. So there is a psychic regards also manifold. Manifestation. The psychic also regards manifestation. If you want to play the fire and the water with the demon, and then maybe you want to make the demon become very small and put into your bowl. Then also you need the psychic with the multiple manifestation to do that. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Liu, you raise hand, please.
Sifu, regarding Kasyapa, how many types of psychic power he possesses?
Kashyapa, according, the way we see, I think he possessed four samadhi. He has already attained four jhana ex samadhi lah. So basically, he's supposed to possess all the psychic. Why do you ask so? Why do you ask so?
Because I think it's not mentioned in the sutta or whatever, but he says that he has psychic power, that's all.
Oh, I see. Basically, if let's say he already attained four jhana and ex samadhi, if they have complete all the jhana, basically they will possess. It's not hard for them to possess all the psychic lah. Because just maybe one session they can finish learning the things already if they got the jhana lah. Okay. Okay, next. Okay. Yes, okay, now we go to the new part of the sixth supernatural power. Yeah, Sally, can you read the passage?
Of the six supernatural powers, the power to end faults is universally possessed by all arahats, while the remaining five depend on the arahats' meditative practices. These five powers can be developed not only by Buddhists but also by non-Buddhists. Although it is said that in all arahats, the six supernatural powers are completely unobstructed, arahats with this power vary in the scope of what they can know or see. Only for Buddhas are these powers ultimate. Although the first six of the six supernatural powers are common to non-Buddhists, the three insights are specifically possessed by arahats. The three insights are the insights of the power of the divine eye, the insight into previous existence, and the insight into the ending of faults. These resemble the three powers so named, but when the three are possessed by arahats, they're so thoroughly and ultimate. They're so thorough and ultimate that they are also called insights. These three insights yield clear knowledge of karmic results of the past, present, and future. Because arahats have such special virtues, they are superb. They are the superb views of good fortune in the world, and are worthy of respect and offerings of human and divine beings.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Just bigger better, Sally? The bigger is the better. Okay, class, supernatural power. Okay, I feel is okay. This is the Chinese word lah for supernatural power. Please write it down. 神通啊，Yukwa, do you know that the psychic to ending the thought in Mandarin is what? Do you know or not?
Lô Jin Thông.
Yes, that's good. Not bad lah, Yukwa. This is a supernatural power. Please write down in Mandarin. Because once you do the bowing or the repentance and chanting, it will appear. Sally, have you ever come across these two words during the chanting? Yes, you still have God or not? Okay, so it is pronounced as a 神通, 神通. Okay, let's see first. 施恩生施恩生 ，OK 神通特翁通，神通，生神神，生神神 ，second pronounce in second in second sound 通通通通通通 is a second sound， 神通 both are second sound OK so this is the Mandarin pronunciation. We got four consonants only four consonants, not four consonants, four type of reading only but in Cantonese and the Hokkien they got nine type of the reading nine type of reading so meaning to say this one 普通话 is easier compared with the Cantonese, okay, and also the Hokkien because they got nine way of pronouncing it. This one is a sen, okay. Sally, you know that? You learned that before? No, you know, okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so this is regards to the Shen Tong. Okay, basically, what just now we mentioned, besides the supernatural power, we got one more, we call it as an insight. In Mandarin, we call it as a san ming. Okay, so they specifically take it out, which, namely, number one is the divine eye. Second is the knowing the past life. The third one is ending the thought. Why they specifically exclude this as a three insight? The reason is the three they are the insight. They are not a psychic. Psychic means no matter how hard you play with psychic especially the first five psychic you would the outcome of Nibbana never arise. But for insight, since we call it as an insight, even though it's a divine eye, even though it's the name also like a psychic, but it can lead you to the Nibbana. Because once we call it as an insight, we need to say that you are observing the Namarupa, the ultimate truth. But if let's say you name it as a psychic, basically there's still in the concept, you are still using the concept. So that's why class, if you got psychic, you were able to check your past life name, okay, whether you are man and woman, whether you are rich or not rich, okay, all this stuff we call it as a concept in the conventional truth. But if you're using insight to check yourself, you might not be able to see all these things, but you will see the past life, your Namarupa is what? Then O is, then what is your Nama is once your Rupa, and what is the conditionality? That's a different story already. See or not? If you always go to check the people concept, the conventional truth, it won't induce, it will trigger the Nibbana come out. Okay, know what I say? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, okay, so that is the meaning. Why class, you can see inside here, you see? Now you see, why there's a tree inside. The reason is here. So the tree inside it's specifically possessed by Arahant. Okay, Arahant, we got this tree inside. Now you see, here this is a good sentence. He says, since Arahant have such a special virtue, and they are the super few of the good fortune in the world, and we all respect them. You see, they are the good fortune. You see, so that's why since Arahant got this, we will highly respect them, and also we will just, it's a good fortune for us by having an Arahant. But anyway, sometimes there will be some misunderstanding, especially in Chinese Buddhism. We will think that all arahant are small vehicle, and they are not highly respected. If let's say the perception is not that right, there's a misunderstanding. Basically, the small vehicle mentioned in the Dharma is that actually the pinpoint the target is the Savastivada. Because Savastivada, they are quite, how to say, they just confine themselves and do the research and study, and sometimes they don't bother how people suffering there, see. So if you, they are the one, but small vehicle doesn't mean the Arahant. The Arahant, they are quite, it's very great. It is very tough to get the Arahant. Okay, so that is the facts here. So we go to the last one. Let me check first. Something, okay. So class, basically, this is the most important. The psychic to end the thought. Class, you see, ending of the thoughts, you see. We call it 漏尽通. Class, please write down the three insight. This insight is different with the sight, the natural power. Even though the name is still the divine eye, insight into the previous existence and ending the thought. Even though it's the same, but since insight meaning to say involve vipassana. So if involve vipassana meaning to say that you can trigger the nibbana, if you're using insight. Okay, next, let's see. So the last one. Yeah, SJ, can you please read the passage, SJ?
Clear, pure, and always unmoving, they are like the sun in the clear sky. All their actions on earth are undefiled like lotus flowers. Sages who have attained arahantship, who have completely cut off all affliction through wisdom, are clear and pure. When in contact with circumstances, they are always unmoved. Among the virtues of arhat are the 6 constant abidings, whether seeing forms, hearing sounds, or contacting some other object of the 6 senses. They are constantly neither suffering nor happy, but are indifferent and abide in right mindfulness and right wisdom. Although the 6 objects may be agreeable or disagreeable, greed and anger will not arise. In the mind of these sages, all the external circumstances of wealth, fame, gain, and loss have no effect on them and do not hinder the liberation of their mind and wisdom. The popular phrase, not being moved by the 8 winds, gain and loss, defamation and eulogy, praise and ridicule, sorrow and joy, describe the states of arhat. As is said in the sutra, the 6 faculties and the 6 objects are always in contact, but they are unable to move the minds of arhats. Their minds invariably abide firmly and truly contemplate the law of birth and extinction. In the sutras, 2 metaphors are involved to praise the virtues of arhat: the sun in a cloudless sky and the lotus flower. And when cloud dissipate, the sun becomes visible. Ordinary people are like thick dark clouds which completely cover the sun. When they attain the initial fruit, it is as if the dark clouds suddenly disperse and the sun appears, but the clouds are still thick. So the sun fluctuates from being hidden to being suddenly revealed. The cloud gradually becomes thinner and disperse, and finally they are all disappear. The arhat's extreme clarity and extreme purity are like the sun shining brilliantly in the cloudless clear sky.
Okay, thank you so much. Never mind. Yeah. Oh, last one. Okay, never mind. Yoga, can you please read the last one? Sages.
Sages who have attained arhatship, regardless of the level of their powers of concentration, always live in the world before they pass away. They still eat, wear clothes, travel, go about, fishing, and deal with people and things. Their bodies and environments are still the imperfect things of the world, and as such are impermanent, suffering, and impure. But although they live in this world, arahats are not influenced by their defiled environment. Therefore, all their actions on earth are clean and undefiled, like lotus flowers. Lotus flowers grow in the mud but are wonderfully fragrant and clean. Zhao Mao Su used lotus flowers as a simile for virtuous people. But how can the virtuous among ordinary people be compared to lotus flowers? Actually, only arhats are like lotus flowers.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, SJ, just now I mentioned kasina. Do you know what is kasina? You know or not?
Not
Heard
really.
about, right? Never mind. Okay. So I think I'll let you know further a little bit what does mean kasina, because it is quite relevant now with the psychic. Okay, let's take a look, class. Okay, class, this is recorded as a mandala of the blue kasina. Okay, can you please now you see through your eye, then close your eye, and then make it appear and visualize it. Once you close your eye and you are able to visualize it, please maintain as long as possible. When it disappear, you open your eye and try to grasp the object again and close your eye, make it appear exactly the same, the color and the shape. Okay, you can do it now. We just try 1 minute. Okay, please. Okay, time's up for 1 minute. Is there anybody can just visualize exactly the same and maintain 1 minute? Put up your hand. Anybody are able to do so? Anyone? Put up your hand. Okay. Yeah, Mrs. Leong are able to do so. You why yes, Sally, you can. No. Mr. Leong, you also cannot. Or half. On the mic, Mr. Leong.
Half very good.
Half only, okay. SJ, how about SJ?
No.
Totally cannot, right? Totally cannot appear, right? Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter because it really depends on the people. Different people have different capability to visualize it. And also, if let's say you are more sensitive in color, you can visualize easy. And then you got the if you have a good samadhi power, you can also visualize it easy. But everything can be. I mean, this ability could be you can train it up. Okay, anyway, just like we mentioned, for those who are able to visualize it, or maybe half, you have to go to sit to the meditation course. Even though SJ you don't see anything, by training, you can just develop it. Okay, the reason is what you see. This is the science behind there. Let's see. You see, Now you see, class, why somebody can see very well, somebody cannot see. The reason is because you see, wherever you see a picture, it will reflect in retina in the first place, and then why you can interpret the kasina, the color, the shape, because what is come to the occipital lobe here. So occipital lobe here, plus you can try to touch here this part. So this is the occipital lobe. Okay, occipital lobe. Once we try to visualize the occipital lobe involved, and also your hippocampus involved. Class, here is the hippocampus is here. Okay, why if let's say you can visualize it easily, meaning to say your occipital lobe is developed, okay, maybe inborn, maybe inborn, so the neuron there, you have to use the neuron in order to visualize it, okay, and also with the help of the hippocampus, we retrieve the information. For SJ, why you cannot appear nothing? Because without training, the more you train, the more neuron will be built up, basically. So it's good. Okay, as we mentioned just now, if let's say a kasina, like Yokwa or Mrs. Leong, you're able to maintain it. If you sit for if you go to join the meditation retreat for the kasina, okay, basically you will try to make it stable and try to enlarge it a bit by a bit by a bit before entering the jhana. So when it can enlarge it, expect as the universe so big, then maybe it's a time for you to go to the jhana. So once you go into the jhana, since kasina, the area is so big, you need to say that how far the kasina can go, how far you can see. If you develop your psychic, the divine eye. So this is the kasina mean. So you have to go through the training. So SJ, you have to come back Malaysia, join the retreat. If you don't join, you just know technically it's something like that. But basically, it's involved in neuroscience. Involved in neuroscience. So the larger is once the kasina change to the color, not change the color, become transparency, and then your whole brain will be submerged into the nimitta. We call it as a jhana. Okay, you go in absorption. Once you absorb inside, all the organ, like your eye, all this will be temporary malfunction because all the respective part in the brain have been occupied by your nimitta. So you don't hear, you don't smell, whatever, it doesn't function. But your organ is still there, you see. Okay, and also you will lose the time and space because certain part in the brain, it will control the time and the space. Okay, I don't know whether you heard about that. Some people, they go to take some drugs, okay, or maybe the stroke, it can make them, this part malfunction. But this is called, it's the damage on the brain. Some people after taking the drug, they say, oh, it seems I can connect with the God. It seems I myself disappear. They're so joy and cry. What about that, class? What about that, right? So this is, if you go through the drugs, you will damage your brain. It is irreversible. But in the jhana, temporarily all the part is malfunctioning. But once you finish the jhana, you go back to normal. So we encourage the jhana ways to experience. Don't go to use the all this metamorphin, all this type of stuff. Don't, never. And maybe take the pot, how we call it pot. SJ is Germany. It is legalized. It is legal in Germany to take the pot.
Not sure.
Not sure. Oh, okay.
I think they are legalizing weed. I'm not sure they already legalized or not. I heard about they want to legalize, but not sure whether. Not sure they done it or not.
Okay, if let's say it's okay, maybe you can use the marijuana as entertainment, right? You need to say right?
I don't know. I didn't know all the fine article inside the fine print inside how they legalize and what to use.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this marijuana also can cause certain thing in the brain, and you have some experience. We say, you found that you yourself disappear and you unify with the universe. It can happen. Depends on individual. I gone through some research. It can happen in this way. But please don't use this to try this experience. Just use the skills meditation is the best. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Leong, you raise your hand, please. Yeah.
example, for example, if one cannot expand the kasina, but then during meditation, one can expand into the universe. Can you elaborate and comment on this?
Again, can you, again, can you?
One cannot what you call expand the kasina, but then during meditation, one can expand into the universe.
Okay, or you cannot expand the kasina, but what you can expand? The second one you expand what to the universe?
Like expand, for example, when during the meditation we can expand and go into the what you call the universal space.
You mean your body?
Cosmic.
You mean you
Sorry?
can you can expand through your body, right? The second
It's
one you mentioned.
something like that, but then the thing is mostly on the mind.
Oh, the mind lah. Okay, okay. Well, some people, yeah. Well, I think it is
You
logical.
feel,
But Mr. Long, you can off your camera.
The thing is you feel that you are traveling in space.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, it's quite hard to say, but basically, if you cannot work well in kasina, but you can work well with other methods, it will be fine. Okay, because kasina is something we use for experiment only. Okay, so I think if you can meditate well in anapanasati, it doesn't mean you can meditate well in kasina. Sometimes, because it's related to the previous life pyramid. Okay, so that's why SJ say, oh, I see nothing totally, it black out only, see not. It's because of previous life pyramid and without the training. So it doesn't justify anything, Mr. Leong. Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so this is something we all know Then we try to digest a little bit here regards to what let's see the next paragraph. Okay, class, take a look. This is some explanation regards to the Arahant. Basically, the best analogy is this. Okay. This is the analogy basically we use to explain what the Arahant experience. So this is the leaf of the lotus flower, but wherever water drop on it, it will never, it will never attach to the leaf because, how should I put it? Because because there will be some chemical on the leaf and make the water cannot attach to it. So the water just like a defilement, okay, it never leave any trace on the leaf of the lotus flower. See, so this is some analogy we use to describe how is the arahant or how is their how are the arahants. So basically, they stay in the world like us. Basically, if let's say if anything happens, happy or sorrow, gain or loss, basically we will be changed mentally. But for arahant, it never happened to them. So this is how is the arahant. And analogy basically they use is the sun in the sky. But I prefer use Maldives. Or Maldives, so crystal clear, you don't see any dust, very clear the water. So arahant is just like this situation. But for us, hopefully it's like a polluted river. Hopefully one day we can reach to that state. Okay, now lastly we go to the Prachika Buddha. Okay, class, basically whether if you want to check any progress for yourself in learning the Buddhism, you can just check by this: gain or loss, defamation, eulogy, praise, and ridicule, sorrow, and joy. Practically, if you practice the Buddhism in the correct way, you should feel all this. You will find that you are not unshakable. You are unshakable by the 8 winds. That will be correct. If let's say the longer you're learning Buddhism, the more serious you'll be influenced by the 8 winds. There must be something wrong already. This is number 1. So second rules is about the balancing. If you are hard people, you should be getting soft and more communicable. And if you are very soft people, you should become more principled. After some time learning the Buddhism, it should be balanced in this way. Then that is the progress we can see learning Buddhism. Okay. All right, next, let's take a look. We finish this. So last paragraph of the is about this Prachika Buddha. Yeah, Prachika Buddha. Maybe Mr. Leong, you can just read without on the camera.
Prachika Buddhahood, verse 112. Those who are enlightened without teachers and who live far away are called Prachika Buddhas. Together with the Sravakas, they are called the 2 wheels. The primary group to be taught the Dharma common to the 3 vehicles is the Sravakas. The next group is the Prachika Buddha wheel. With regard to the position of cutting off confusion and realizing the truth, both the Sravakas and the Prachika Buddhas are the same. Their main difference are first, that Prachika Buddhas are not enlightened by others, that is, they became enlightened without teachers. A legend says that there was a king who roamed in the imperial garden, and upon seeing that the flowers are to bloom, soon after, a group of imperial maids came to pick flowers, and those splendid blooming trees quickly become disfigured. When the king saw this, he was deeply influenced by the sense of impermanence. As he meditated and pondered on impermanence, he realized the extinction of the nation and attained the holy fruit. Such people cannot turn the wheel of Dharma like the Buddha because they become enlightened without a teacher. But they are disciples who depend on a teacher's instruction. Their fundamental nature is somewhat sharper. The second difference is that the wisdom derived from being enlightened without teachers comes from living far away. Living far away means living far from noise and disturbances, from people and their affairs. They live alone in accord with the 12 disciples of Dutta without teachers, fellow students, or disciples. It is said such persons are found during the periods that are without the Buddha Dhamma. They appear as monastic people and beg for alms, but they are unable to preach the Dharma and manifest supernatural powers only. The legend says that there are also practical Buddhas who live together with people. However, their basic nature is actually that of Sravakas. When the conditions are right, they will naturally realize arahantship. Nonetheless, because they appear in a time without a Buddha, they are also called practical Buddhas. The term means self-enlightened or enlightened by conditions, because they accomplish the way by contemplating dependent origination. The position of those who attain practical Buddhahood is equal to that arahants in the Sravaka view. Therefore, the vehicles of practical Buddhas and Sravakas are usually grouped together and called the two views. When the two are discussed in terms of the great view, which is characterized by resolutions to attain Bodhi, they are called the small view.
Thank you so
Small
much.
vehicle, sorry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Not views. Okay.
Yeah, small vehicle.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now we go to the Practical Buddha. Okay, class. Now we go to the last group, Practical Buddha. Class. Basically, for Practical Buddha, there are certain group of the sage are very different from Arahant in terms of three situations. Number one, even though the attainment and the wisdom is the same with the Buddha. It's you can say similar with the Arahant. But basically, they enlighten without the teacher, without the teaching from the teacher. It's not necessary from Practical Buddha to get the teacher for enlightenment. They themselves can enlighten, they can enlighten through themselves. This is number one for the Practical Buddha. Why? Because class, maybe in the previous life, they are the Sotapan. Okay, if let's say you are the Sotapan in the previous life, so for this life you reborn, and that time particularly, Buddha is not exist. No Buddha. Okay, so since there's no Buddha and you have an experience of Vipassana in the previous life, so for this life, by using the previous life knowledge of Vipassana, you can make yourself attain to the Arahant. So at this particular moment, you will be labeled as Practical Buddha. This is number one reason. Second, this type of Arahat, this type of a Pratyeka Buddha, basically they don't preach because maybe they don't know the skills. They're just normal, like a normal monk only, they pindabat, and then that's all. They don't do the preaching. So that is the specialty of the Pratyeka Buddha. And then some, maybe they just go into the Nibbana by performing the psychic in the last moment only. So people don't know they are the Pratyeka Buddha. But this type of group people really does exist. Okay, and the third one, since they are without the teaching of the Buddha, without any teaching from the Buddha, they are quite same like the Shakyamuni. Buddha and the Pratyeka Buddha, they are both, the similarity is they can attain to the Nibbana without the teaching from anybody. They are the same one. But the problem is Buddha have already completed 6 paramid, but Pratyeka Buddha, it doesn't happen to the Pratyeka Buddha. Okay, so class get it. So that is the difference between the Pratyeka Buddha. But we group Pratyeka Buddha together with the Arahant instead with the Buddha. The reason is their defilement is, the level is quite same. The level is quite same, especially regards the experience of a Nibbana. But one thing is different is they can exist without any teaching. They can attain the Pratyeka Buddha state without the teaching from the Buddha. So that's the difference only. So let's check. Now see, I think I finished everything already. They cannot turn the Dharma wheel, okay, but they are superior than the Shravaka. Okay, they appear as a monastic people. They are also like a monk. Okay. So class, finish already. You finished the whole thing already. Okay, yes, okay, okay, class. Basically,